Friday afternoon in downtown Srinagar. Under curfew and the weight of humid heat, even the glorious chinar's leaves are still. For 5 weeks now, the valley has been on fire. Hospitals steaming with those who have suffered pellet injuries. Civilian casualties mounting. Mobile and internet services heavily restricted. Groups of young men displaying indescribable rage and security forces on edge, never knowing when they will be confronted by an angry mob armed with stones, chanting that all too familiar slogan. Each civilian death is a lightning rod for them to defy curfew restrictions in the day or take advantage of an evening relaxation in the shutdowns and strikes called by the All Parties Hurriyat Conference.
बोला मैं आ रहा हूँ मेरे लिए खाना लगा के रखो पूरा का पूरा पैलेट उसके साइड में उसको पूरा पैलेट उसके अंदर जिस्म के अंदर डाला है हमें बस इतना बोलना है हम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया से गुजारिश नहीं कर रहे हैं हम उनको वार्न कर रहे हैं हमें हमारे कातिल को हमारे घर लाओ अगर महबूबा मुफ्ती ने हमें कातिल को घर नहीं लाया हम पूरे उसका पूरा अहले आयाल वहाँ कैंप पे जाएगा फिर ये आप लोग नहीं कहना कि कश्मीर में हालात ख़राब हो गए हमें ये नहीं पता है वहाँ पे फिर क्या होगा क्या हम अपने भाइयों का खून ऐसे ही सड़क पे ज़ाया होने देंगे
The man who's come to be known as the ATM guard, killed without any apparent provocation on his way home from work in Srinagar on the night of August 2nd, was named Riaz. He was Shakira's brother. On the fourth day after his death at the hands of unidentified security personnel who pumped a pellet gun into his stomach at point-blank range, the family allows us to visit briefly.
We have not been able to come in unless...
For 20 minutes only, we have protection from Riaz and Shakira's older brother, Shakil, a local driver who has worked with us in the past.
We was watching TV, it was nothing. It was only one television, it was lost.
For the first time in 20 years, the national media is the enemy once again. But the sight of a camera is enough to set off the gathering crowd. The CRPF and state policemen lined up along the street, hardly a deterrent.
Fear is decreasing because we believe that India has overused fear in Jammu and Kashmir. So people do not anymore fear about the consequences. And I feel that if this round of protests also is not heeded to by the government of India, the next round of protests is going to be far more lethal.
Khurram Parvez is one of 20 people in the valley who've had their home phone and broadband connections suspended. Undeterred, he runs the Jammu and Kashmir Coalition for Civil Society from this small flat in Amira Kadal.
Mehbooba Mufti would want us to believe, as Umar Abdullah wanted us to believe in 2010, that children, toddlers are coming out on the streets. But if you see the number of people who've got injured, well, who are they? Are they all 12 years, 13 years? No. They are adults as well. They're old people, they're women, they're children, they're everybody.
The Braille-designed posters his team is putting up are a message for anyone passing by. In this latest summer of discontent, the pellet gun that's blinded so many protesters has become a metaphor. A metaphor for India's military presence.
This is the extreme to which any society can go in search of its free spirit. This is the extreme. And if government of India does not respond now, then that will lead to total disaster. It means they don't care for human lives. They are with their own actions showing that you are not integral, but you are our enemy. Otherwise, in any society in the world, any government would have actually reached out to people and taken certain steps to calm down the tempers. Chief Minister has no legitimacy before people because they forgot about that self-rule also. That was also a deceptive toy which they were playing with people. Since they came into alliance with this BJP, they forgot about all that.
And the pellet guns injured victims, a metaphor for Srinagar and Delhi's poor management of this latest unrest.
Is it democracy to ban internet? Is it democracy to ban mobile services? Is it democracy to shoot these lethal weapons wherein people get blind? More than 100 have been blinded in Kashmir.
If there is no attempt, a serious attempt from the union government to initiate dialogue with the people of Kashmir, this is going to be more radicalized. I mean, you can see the 15-year boy joins the militancy knowing the fact he will be killed.
Over a month after Burhan Wani was killed, the debate over whether these protests are about glorifying a terrorist or whether his killing was a trigger for simmering discontent to boil over is moot. Across the board, there is general consensus on the need for the centre to acknowledge civilian deaths and look at solutions beyond the paradigm of security and military force before things spiral further.
No one has been able to deal with this situation better than Prime Minister Vajpayee, because he could understand the emotion. Vajpayee still got a lot of respect in the valley, but unfortunately he seems to have become almost persona non grata here.
For this government?
Yeah.
For his own party?
For his own party. I mean, nobody, if nothing else, today you should quote Vajpayee, to get you out of trouble.
And that's exactly what Prime Minister Modi has done a month after Kashmir erupted in the wake of Burhan Wani's killing.
इंसानियत, कश्मीरियत और जमहूरियत का उसी मार्ग पर चलने वाले हम लोग हैं। आज ऐसे निर्दोष बालकों के हाथ में पत्थर पकड़ा दिए जाते हैं। कुछ लोगों की राजनीति तो चल पाएगी, लेकिन मेरे इन भोले भाले बालकों का क्या?
But which youth is the Prime Minister referring to? Is it the angry teenager who confronts our vehicle in Srinagar's Rainawadi with a brick in his hand as we try to enter unsuccessfully? Is it the young men and women who sat recently amidst curfew for common entrance tests? We were on our way to meet Sameer Bhatt, who teaches political science at the Central University. Finally, after agreeing to step out and come meet us a short distance away from the makeshift roadblock, he advises us against confusing and conflating narratives.
It's not like those who appear in IAS or those who appear in any competitive exams don't have any political aspiration. If you see the Indian independence history, you see the people were also, those who were fighting for the India's independence were also going abroad for education.
Kashmir is not a problem of jobs. Kashmir is not a problem of development. Kashmir, if you compare to any other state of India, it has better human development indicators. It would be a way of denial, a way of delaying the solution in Jammu and Kashmir if we use this argument that let's do development in Jammu and Kashmir and people of Kashmir will forget Azadi.
The real challenge today is of preventing a shrinking middle ground from disappearing altogether.
Anger is blind, and once they feel that somebody is not supporting their cause, it's like if you're not with us, you're against us. They don't understand that people are also trying to help who are searching for a middle ground. So there is a need for moderates. Over the years, I've tried to improve my understanding of the struggle and how things can be improved. And I try to contribute in my own way.
For those Kashmiri Muslims who aligned firmly with India, this is a difficult time and space. For the movement, they aren't truly Kashmiri. For the rest of the country, they aren't fully Indian.
There is no territory that within this discourse and within this narrative that people like me can stand on now. To know that even in the rest of the country, people like me really do not have a space now. So either you are part of a certain brigade and then you're an Indian, and then when you come back here, because you do not adhere to a hardline approach, or you do not really believe in a fundamentalist approach, then you don't belong to either side. To me as a Kashmiri and also as an Indian, I think it's really a cry for help. The rest of the country needs to listen to what the majority Kashmiris are saying. For a minority like me, minority in Kashmir also, it may not be what I would want. But then, I don't think it's right for me or anybody like me to say that I'm going to stifle that voice.
If most of Srinagar is in lockdown mode, stepping outside the city is even tougher. Pantha Chowk that leads to the highway is a de facto border between the summer capital and the badlands of South Kashmir, where armed militants brazenly attend public rallies and the writ of the state has little or no effect.
And then when the Chief Minister says that these sacrifices will not go in vain, I would like to know what she's going to give them for these sacrifices. What does she mean by they will not go in vain? Because they're not demanding anything of her government. They're straight out saying we want freedom. Now, if you want to respect these sacrifices, is that what you're offering? We are being consumed by the same flames that are consuming the PDP today. I mean, it is foolish and short-sighted to believe that the National Conference stands to gain by this current situation. Yes, Mehbooba Mufti's graph is down, but that doesn't mean that the National Conference's graph is up, because this is not a normal state where if the Congress graph goes down, the BJP graph goes up and one or the other mainstream party benefits. Here, when the mainstream graph goes down, the only graph that goes up is the separatist graph.
Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti is at the receiving end of much of the public anger. For a politician who's premised her career on the slogans of self-rule and healing touch, her main challenge these days is to defend her alliance with the BJP. Sajad Lone, her alliance partner and a minister, once separatist, now mainstream, puts up a defense that's as sad as it is cynical.
The Kashmiri learning curves are bloodied. I don't know why they are not so visible for the younger generation to see that the experience that the older generation like us have. As long as they use non-violent methods, there are huge gatherings. There is no police intervention there. But if you are going to come and pelt rocks and stones, the government has to ensure that it does not descend into a state of anarchy. It's very difficult for a government to come down with a heavy hand. What was Congress? I mean, are you talking there were some angels who descended from the heavens for Kashmiris? How many Kashmiris have been killed in Congress regime? BJP, I'm not trying to defend them here, but they've been in power in Delhi for a very small time, very short time. This is essentially a problem on which the union government has to take a call. Not the state government. State government's powers are very limited. Congress has been in power for 5 decades. This problem, if anything, can be traced back to them. What about in 2008? At that time, Congress was at the helm of affairs. 2010, they were in power at Srinagar and at Delhi.